of CYA.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I need documentation, and it's a training of your thought. Get documentation of saying, all right, I was here. Show me the fact that I do not owe for today. It needs to it needs to actually say zero amount at the bottom, because then you could have said, nope, it's right here.
Or you could be as lucky as I was and get a doctor who says, you need to get to the hospital right now. Why? You have the potential of having a heart attack in 6 weeks due to your family history, the fact that you're having some angina right now. You need to go to the hospital. They scared the hell out of me. So I went. Now I owe $3,000 for that one night. And to top it off, they said, you need an x-ray for your hips. Ooh. Okay. Went, got the MRI for the hips. Then they tell me, you have to come back in because we have to do a whole MRI on that whole leg. But it's going to cost you $1,300 because that's what's left on your deductible. So you have to pay that first before we can even x-ray you. Needless to say, I still have the angina and I still have the arthritic hip that hurts like hell when I go walk. But you know what? Didn't need either one of them. Same thing with the colonoscopy. Same doctor. Get this. Has me do everything I'm supposed to do for that colonoscopy because they said they found traces of blood.
Like polyps type of thing?
Yes, in the sample that was sent to them, and that I would have to go through this horrible ordeal, which I do. And then I get there and he says, have you ever had any chest pain? I said, well, yeah. And they said, we can't do your colonoscopy because if you have a heart attack on the table, that's on us, and we're just a satellite. We're going to have to send you over to Sarasota Memorial Hospital for this. And I said, you have got to be kidding me. So you've scared me with the C word.
Yeah.
You've told me there's traces of blood. I feel fine. I mean, I literally feel fine. There is nothing wrong with me that I can see. And
there's something wrong, but
it doesn't have anything to do with that. That's for sure. So I had to go through all this just to be stopped the day that they're supposed to do it because nobody asked me in the beginning, do you have heart issues? Do you have angina? Do you have whatever that is that they call that?
An arrhythmia?
Yes, thank you. And that is what they found. Huh. So that means I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm in very good health, but due to middle age and menopause.
So then
and you too. Yeah, that's why I have the arrhythmia.
Do you see what you do to her? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, you're part of the solution or problem there too.
Solution,
no, she told me.
I am. Freudian slip right there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but I think that is just, that pisses me off to no end is with the, you just had it there.
They scared me to death.
Yeah, they scare you with all this terminology, but then they make you go all these tests that you either need or not.
Second opinions.
Yeah, but then the second opinions cost you money too.
Yeah, they do.
That's very true.
And then when you find out that it really happened, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have gotten that second opinion.
All right, this is a year later.
But this is
still no heart attack. And guess what? No cancer either.
And this is where I would have had the red flag.
Okay.
How do you know I'm going to have this in 6 weeks? That's a very specific time frame to be given. That's where my red flag I would have asked. And I would have been like, all right, thank you.
Yeah, I was not happy with
that. Well, see, I can't say anything because I don't really know. But my father, and they say that when you have or starting to have a heart attack, they say they start to feel acid reflux. So my father was starting to get acid reflux, and that's what he thought he had. So he went to a cardiologist. He had all his stuff done. And when we went back for his results, the cardiologist looked and said, we got your results back. We're taking you to the hospital now. He's like, wait, what? He goes, you are so close right now. We just don't know when, but you're going there. You're getting stents put in now. So he had to go get stents that day.
God bless him. I mean, at least he had somebody that told him the truth. But, I believe that it's a gimmick that these people have in place by Big Pharma. And if they don't do it, then they don't get their boat that year, or they don't get that trip to Cancun. I don't care. Turks and Caicos is going to be there when you retire. So let's not pull this off. I'm not buying your vacation again this year.
Well, here's the thing, and this, you can agree with me or with not. I don't care. But anyway, doctors.
He does.
Yeah, but doctors anyway. If you think about it, let's really go back in time. Mm-hmm. What was a doctor's credo? They were there to help you no matter what it was.
That's
they didn't
right.
care about the cost. They didn't care about anything. They were there for you. Now, because of all the insurance.
And to do no harm.
Yeah.
And to do no harm.
Exactly.
That Hippocratic oath.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, was that hypocritical oath?
No, I took that oath, okay? It wasn't hypocritical.
Yeah. But then.
Well, maybe for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you think about it and you say, okay, over the years, now you have people doing insurance fraud and you have people suing the doctors, and now the doctors have to do all this other stuff. And now you have Big Pharma come in saying, hey, if you push my product, this is what you get. Now it's become very convoluted, and you don't know who is reputable, who is not. And that's scary.
True.
I think they all sold their souls to the devil. I don't think it makes any difference.
I mean, we had a conversation, you and I, Katie, a couple of days ago, and you were telling me about a doctor that you knew and you were going to recommend to me. And I'll still look him up. But the thing is, I remember two doctors as I was growing up. One in, they were both in the Philadelphia area, but two different counties. So one where I used to live, I grew up with him with a child with my family, and I knew him as a family doctor. Dr. Salini. The other one was another doctor, and he phenomenal doctor. But the thing is, now I've come down here, I'm like, I really wish I can get those two doctors down here.
Well, now that I know that doctor's receptionist is no longer there, and I use the word loosely, I'm glad that she's gone, because if this crap continues, I may go back to him.
So you can do like what my mother-in-law actually does, is she has a doctor that she likes in two particular states. And yes, she actually still sees them. And she lives here, but she will schedule a trip. She goes, nope, they know me. I trust them, and they don't lie to me. And that's just what she sticks with.
I'm with her. I believe it.
She is willing to pay whatever cost it is to go book a flight. And she goes, yeah, and I make a vacation. I go see some friends, though.
There you go.
But I mean, it's almost like it's worth that cost to pay for this flight and to go do it.
It's sad.
I'm thinking about driving all the way to
sad.
Bradenton just to get back to my old doctor. I didn't like his receptionist. She was a pain in my ass. And that's why I ended up going to somebody else in the first place. I would never have left him otherwise. He was a good doctor. He cared. He understood. And he didn't push Big Pharma on you. It was nice to be able to walk in that door and know you were going to see somebody who was not going to spin you around. He was going to tell you the truth. This is what it is. That's it.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, though. Now we're going to circle this in a different way.
Uh-oh.
Yes,
okay, here we go.
We're gonna swing this in a different way. How about these doctors who actually they themselves have to deal with the insurance companies and how they might actually feel about this?
Oh, I know they don't like it.
So we had a pet peeve that came in from Lisa, and she is from Venice, Florida. And what do we have here? Health insurance companies that dictate patient care. And she states, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. So we'll just say doctor as myself. We're to contract with health insurance company, and this creates a relationship where I am basically working for the company. So now what that kind of says to me, when we're having this big debate with insurance companies, these doctors
don't have a lot of say in it.
Don't have a lot of say. And they're probably right here with us going, I feel your pain. I feel your frustration.
They do.
But what do I do? There's
nothing they can do if they want to maintain their license.
Exactly.
Bottom line, they've got to buy the short hairs. This is it. You either do this or we're going to pull your license.
Yep. And then you have no job and whatever.
And people wonder why these fake clinics open up.
Fake clinics?
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of fake clinics. Have you, they're not clinics. They're emergency rooms, or that's what you think they are. And then you go, all right, there's one, I will say, it's north of here.
Okay.
And when you walk in the door, you think that you're going to an urgent care facility. You think you're going to an emergency room, and they tell you, oh, we're not accepting new patients. This is not an emergency room. This is a clinic. You'll have to make an appointment. And they charge 3 times the amount that the hospitals do.
I
think I know the
They're
one you're.
privately owned.
Well, I was going to say I think I know the one you're talking about, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll compare notes later.
I'm sure
but,
we are.
But
talking
the thing is,
same one.
I went to. I think if it's the same one you're talking about, I went there to get my arm looked at about a month ago before the insurance kicked in, and when I went there, I thought it was urgent care, so I went there, and all of a sudden they took me, and all of a sudden they put me on a table, and I'm like, okay, and they're like starting to put like the blood pressure, they're going to hook up all these diodes to me. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, well, we have to do a test before the doctor sees you. I'm like, no.
Not like that.
I just need you to look at my arm and tell me what's going on with it. They're like, oh, no, we have to do this. I'm like, all right, are you urgent care or are you not urgent care? And then they looked and said, well, we're really not this. We're really in the ER and all this other stuff. And I said, that's fine. But anyway, they said, go down the street. There's another type of thing down there. So I went down there. Next thing you know, I go down there. I walk in. I'm like, hi, I'm just was here. I want to see this. All this other stuff. They looked and said, oh, you don't have insurance? I'm like, no, I don't. They like, well, we charge $300 just to be seen. I said, really? They're like, yeah. But then they looked at me and said, well, if you go online and you look up, they said, if you go online and you type in self-pay urgent care type thing, you'll find cheaper urgent cares in the area. So I actually typed it up and I found one that's down the road from me that is reputable. And I was like, okay, you're only going to charge me $100 just to walk in. But I'm like, really? Seriously? Now imagine the one that was going to charge $300 because they're privately owned, that would have been money. But if I would have went to that ER, I'm sure that would have cost me $6,000+ thousands of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I would have been like, nope.
Yeah. IV
People
and
don't
everything.
realize that these clinics are privately owned. They are not owned by the insurance company. They're not owned by the hospitals. This is somebody's investment to make money.
This makes me miss the military, actually.
Well,
I know
yeah.
some people want to complain about the military or even the VA.
You don't have to worry about it.
I'm not. I don't care. You want me to wait? I'll wait. I'm okay.
It's free.
It's free. Just like when because I was a corpsman in the Navy, and sure enough, yes, oh my God, these poor patients. When it comes to waiting, when I'm asked to wait, I understand why this is probably possible. Mm-hmm. There could have been somebody that was more damaged than I am, and they need to be seen first. You know, we would have patients waiting for 2 hours to be seen, and sure enough, now most of these people...
Wait, are you sure it's not the emergency room in hospitals? Because I've been there before, too, where you're waiting.
Oh,
well,
no, they
actually,
have billboards now that tell you 30 minutes of wait, 40 minutes of wait.
This was 5
minutes.
The clinic that I worked in was like an urgent orthopedic clinic. So what would happen, sometimes the doctors would all of a sudden have to go to surgery. So all their patients have to wait is what would happen. Now, we only said this a few times because in the military, you got to pick your rank and who you're saying this to and making sure that one of two things. You are either A, the same rank as me, or B, you are lower rank before you make this statement. Or you just grab one of the doctors who's an officer to make this statement. Is when the patient would come in and sit there and say, I've been waiting for 2 hours and I had to leave my job and this and that. They're military. And we would tell them, no problem, sir or ma'am. We'll make sure that the military reimburses your pay for your time loss. FYI, in the military, when you're active duty, you're paid 24/7. So guess what you're going to be doing? your butt sitting in that chair and you're going to wait